Hello, customers. In this video, I am going to show you how to use the Lite product M1 of Open Time Clock. If you are looking for top quality products that make life easier without breaking the bank, we introduce to you our Lite product. It is simple, effective, and designed with you in mind. From everyday essentials to game-changing tools, Lite products offer everything you need, with none of the unnecessary extras. Get the efficiency you want, at a price you'll love. So how to sign up or create an account with our Lite product M1? You just need to visit our website, opentimeclock.com, and you just need to go to pricing. After you click on pricing, you will be routed to this. As you can see, our regular paid plan is in the amount of $39 per month and $399 per year per company. If it's way too expensive for you, then we offer the $99 per year, which is our live product. You need to click on this link and then you will be routed to this page. Then you just need to click on our product M1 details. You will be routed to this page where you can see the overview of this product. You can go ahead and scroll and check on what this feature looks like. You can also click on this feature so that you will be able to see the features offered by our Lite product. And then if you want to purchase, then you can go ahead and click on purchase and then enter your PayPal payment for the Lite products or the payment information. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to sign up for our M1 product. You just need to click on this and you will be routed to entering your company information, just like how you create an account for our latest product Q2. So you just need to enter your company short name and your email, confirm your email, your username, and password, and you can also set up your time zone from here upon creating this account. And then you go ahead and click on Create. But if you already have an account with us, you just need to click on this link and you will be routed to the login page. After you create an account with our product M1, and if you want to log in, or clock out, then you can go to the login page. Once you go to the login page, you will be routed to this, where you will need to enter your company name. As for this demo account, I have created this OTCM1 for the company name. After I enter this and click on Sign In, I will be routed to entering my username and then my password. So after I click on Enter my username and password, if I need to clock in, then I just need to click on Clock. As you can see, I have an option to click on Clock In or also have an option to add a note or exit. For example, you are requiring your employees to add notes, then you can go ahead and click on Add Notes and then the employees can input their notes from here, click on Save and then clock, and that's how you can clock in, and if you need to clock out, just do the same thing, enter your username, your password. You can go ahead and click on the clock, and then as you can see, it says here clock out instead of clock in. If you need to add notes, you can click on Add a Note. If you need to exit, you can go ahead and exit or hit this button. Let's go ahead and try to click on Clock Out. Once you see the green check, then that means you have successfully clocked out. You can also try to consider these functions here. For this one, if you don't want to always type in your username or your password, then you can go ahead and click on Remember. And then if you need help, you can go ahead and click on Help. If you forgot your username, you can click on this. Forgot your password. If you are on the wrong company account, you can go ahead and click on Switch Company. If you want to use a different clock-in option, you can go ahead and click on a Switch Clock UI. And then as you can see, the information for your company account is already in here. So let's go ahead and try to log into the account. Let's just click on Login, and then you will be routed to the default view, which is the time cards. Let us discuss this later on. Let us first focus on settings so that you will know how we can set up our company settings. Once we click on Settings, we are directly routed to here in the default users. So let's just first start with the first tab, which is the company setting. In the company setting, as you can see, we will be able to see here the company ID. The company ID is a unique identifier assigned to your organization within the system or for your company. This ID is used to differentiate your company's data from that of other users and to ensure that the system correctly applies to your specific settings, rules, and information. We also have here the company name, which is a brief or abbreviated version of your company's full name. This short name is used for convenience in the system, especially in contexts where space is limited or where a more concise identifier is needed. So for example, if your company is named Acme Corporation, the company's short name might be Acme Corp or simply Acme. As for this demo account, I tried to use OTC M1 as a short company name. Next is the camera. You have the option to click on Not Required, or you also have the option to click on Required. So as you can see, there is a note here where it says employees need to open the web camera in clocking in and clocking out. Because the camera can be used to capture images of employees when they clock in and clock out. So this helps ensure that the correct individual is recording their work hours and avoiding body punching. For our time zone, you have the option to change your own time zone depending on your company or your place or location's time zone. So this setting specifies the time zone that to be used as the standard reference for all the time-related data within the system. This setting is crucial for ensuring accurate time tracking, reporting, and synchronization across various aspects of the system. For the week's start date, you can click on this drop-down button, and this setting determines the first day of the week for your company's time tracking and reporting purposes. This setting affects how weekly schedules, timesheets, and reports are organized and displayed. It's up to your company's rules. For our pay period, you have an option to weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, and monthly. It establishes the specific time frame during which employees' hours are tracked for payroll purposes. This can be weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or monthly period depending on the company's payroll schedule. Next is we have punch rounding. You have the option to turn it off or choose from the nearest 1 minute, the nearest 6 minutes, or the nearest 15 minutes. So, it establishes the specific time frame during this setting and specifies how time entries are rounded to the nearest increment. This feature helps simplify timekeeping and ensure consistency in how time is recorded and calculated. It allows you to define a specific time increment to which clock-in and clock-out times will be rounded. Common increments include 1 minute, 6 minutes, 15 minutes. For example, if you set it up to 15 minutes, then a clock end time of 8:07 a.m. might be rounded to 8 o'clock or exactly 8 a.m. And a clock out time of 5:12 p.m. might be rounded to 5:15 p.m. Next is the weekly overtime. You have an option to turn it off or turn it on, and then you need to specify here the total number of hours. So weekly overtime is designed to automatically track, calculate, and manage overtime hours worked by the employees during a specific work week. Next is the daily overtime one. You have the option to turn it on and then specify the exact hours here, as well as the day over daily overtime to specify the exact hours here. The daily overtime feature automatically logs an employee out at the end of their regular shift if they have reached a certain amount of daily overtime. This helps manage and control overtime by ensuring that employees do not work beyond their allotted hours without proper authorization or oversight. Next is California's 7th day. You just need to turn it on if you are from California or if you are applying a California 7th day rule. It is designed to help businesses comply with California's labor laws, specifically those relating to the 7th day overtime rule. Under California labor law, employees who work more than 6 days in a workweek are entitled to 1.5 times their regular paid rate for any hours worked on the 7th day. We also have here a special Saturday and a special Sunday. You have an option to choose if all hours as overtime or all hours as double time. So a special Saturday and Sunday is a feature designed to handle unique payroll scenarios related to hours worked on Saturdays and Sundays. It is particularly useful for businesses that have specific payrolls or overtime rates for work done on Saturdays and Sundays, or for those who want to track and treat Saturdays and Sundays differently from other days of the week. Next is the auto deduction. Once we turn it on, we need to indicate here the exact amount of hours or minutes. This feature is designed to automatically deduct a specified amount of time from an employee's total hours worked to account for a break. So this feature helps streamline timekeeping and payroll processing by automating a deduction process. When you enable this, the system automatically deducts a predetermined amount of time from an employee's total work hours based on the settings you configure. For example, if you set a 30-minute auto deduction, the system will subtract 30 minutes from the total hours worked each day. We also have here an auto addition, which is designed to automatically adjust or add hours to an employee's time card based on the predefined rules or specific conditions set by your company. And then for the time format, you have an option to choose from 12 hours clock or 24-hour clock. This setting specifies how time is displayed throughout the whole system. So it allows you to choose between different time formats to match your preferences or organizational standards. We have here 12 hours and then 24 hours. And then for the default clock UI, you can take note of this, that the only options for the employees to clock in and clock out are by using username and password or by just entering their username. If you choose a keypad username, and then after you set up your company setting, please do not forget to click on Save Change so that all the changes will apply. Next is the departments. So as you can see here, I have pre-made sample departments, but I will show you how we can add a department to our company account. If you have different or a lot of departments and it's hard for you to find the department name, you can go ahead and search by name. You can use this search tab. And then, for example, in this sample department 2, if you need to make an edit or make changes, you can go ahead and click on Edit, make the changes, and then click Save Change. And if you need to delete this specific department, you can go ahead and click on Delete. Like this. And then, if you need a report regarding this department, and you are under our paid plan for this Lite product M1, then you can go ahead and save it as Excel or print it to PDF. So now how are we going to add a department? Let's go ahead and try to add one. So after we click on Add Department, you just need to click on Enter the name here and then the code. Then click on Add. As you can see, Sample Department 2 has already been added to our departments. So that is how our departments work, or that is how we add the department for our company. So if your company has different departments, then you can use this feature. Next are departments and managers. As you can see, we already have 2 departments. So if we are going to assign a manager from these 2 departments, we just need to click on Assign and then select the specific name of a manager. So as for our demo account, I only have one sample manager, which is named Jane Doe, so it is the only one showing here. Let's go ahead and click on Save, and then that's how we assign the manager for our department managers. If you need to read to have a report regarding this department manager, you can go ahead and click on the report and save it as Excel or print it to a PDF file. Next is the department users. So let's say, for example, for our department 1, I have a user, or we already added a user here, so let's try to add a sample user, or let's try to add a user to sample department number 2. You just need to click on Assign and then use a specific person. Choose a specific person and then you can select it. Click on Save. As you can see, 1 person per department only. That's how you assign users to a department. Now let's go ahead and click on Users. For these settings, this is how you are going to add a user. So as you can see, there are many functions here that you can go ahead and try to use. For example, you have different departments, you can then filter the departments or all departments. You can also select active or inactive if you want to see who the employees who are already active or inactive. You also have here an option to select employees so that you can see the employees only. You also have here an option to select managers and admins as well. If you have a lot of users, you can search it by name, and you can also select and archive a user or an employee. So please confirm if you want to archive selected users. If you do not want to see them on your active list, then you can go ahead and click on Archive Selected Users. If you need to make an edit to the specific employee, then we can go ahead and click on Edit and then make the changes, then save the change. Let's go back and then to archive a user, you just need to click on the archive, and as you can see, the user will no longer be in our system. So let's now try to add a new user or a new employee. You can go ahead and click on Add User, enter the name and the employee role, and then you can enter the user's email. It is optional. You can also enter the name, the username. The password is also optional. You can leave it blank and allow your employees to select or set their password, or you can also set it for them. And then for the camera setting, you have the option to use the company setting which you set up here in this company setting, or you can also define it per user, like for example for a John Doe employee you do not want this to, or you are not requiring this. For a camera then you can click on Not Required, or you can also click on Required. Time card editing. If you are allowing your employees to edit their own time card, then you can turn it on. Employee number is just optional. And then if you want to assign this specific user to a specific department, then you can assign them here, and then you can also input here the total hourly rate. You can also select overtime and clock points. If you are going to restrict your employees from clocking in and clocking out using different devices, IP addresses, Wi-Fi, or GPS allocation. And then after you set up the user's information, you just need to click on Add there. So for example, if we have successfully added the user, then we will be able to see them here. You also have an option to import from Excel. So you will know you will not go ahead and do it one by one. Then you can go ahead and click on Import from Excel and then click on Download the Excel template file. Fill it out from there and then you can upload it, or you can import it here. So the users will be uploaded here. So that is how we add users. If you need reports regarding these users, you just need to click on these reports, save them as Excel, and then print them to PDF. Let's now go ahead and look for a user job. So let's say for example you want to assign a specific user to a specific job, then you just need to go ahead and click on Assign and say for example you want to assign Jane Doe to a specific job, let's say sample job 1, then you just need to click on Save there. If you have a lot of jobs here, you can search it by name. If you need to have reports for this user job, you can just click on Reports. Now let's go ahead and go to Manager Departments. As you can see, this is how you are going to assign a manager per department. But then since we only have one manager here, which is John Doe, this is how we assign. Just need to click on Assign and then choose a specific department. As you can see, one manager can handle different departments. Next is jobs. So let's say for example you have different jobs, then you can go ahead and add the job name here, the job code, and then if it's payable you can select yes, and if no you can select no. Then click on Add. As you can see, the job names will show here, and if you need to make an edit you just need to click on Edit and then click on Save. If you need to delete or archive these job names you just need to click on Archive. And then if you need reports you can just click on this Reports button here, and then for the job users. So this is how we assign a specific user or employee to a specific job. So we have here Jane Doe assigned to sample job 1. Let's go try to add and sample job 2. Click on Assign. Click on the person or the users that you want to add and then click on Save. As you can see, Jane Doe or a specific user can be assigned to specific different jobs. Now let's move on to shifts. You have an option to select active or inactive employees. So as you can see, I have here a pre-made sample shift. So how to add a shift? You just need to click on this green button here, set up the name, and then set up the start time and then the stop time. You also have the option to use these clock-in restrictions and clock-out restrictions. Let's say, for example, you want to auto-clock out your employees after the minutes that you set up here. Then after the shift and after the 5 minutes after the shift, employees will automatically be clocked out after 5 minutes. And then, for the clock-in restrictions, you have the option to click on the early clock-in records shift start time or prevent starting more than 30 minutes before shift start, or you can change these specific minutes. Also the same with the clock-out restrictions, and then you just need to click on Add. As you can see, the sample shift 3 is already added to the list of our shifts. And if you need a specific report, you just need to click on this Reports button here. For a weekly schedule, we just need to click on Edit and then specify the specific weekly schedule for your employees. Let's say, for example, Sunday shift, Tuesday shift, Thursday shift, and Saturday shift. Let's say, for example, you have alternate employees per day, then you can set it up. As you can see, the weekly schedule for the employees will be filled out with their shifts here. And if you need to make an edit, you just need to click on this edit and then do the changes. After you make the changes, go ahead and click on Save. If you need reports, just click this Report button here. Next is clock points. For example, you are restricting your employees from clocking in and clocking out using different Wi-Fi, GPS, device, or IP. And you can go ahead and click on Add Clock Points. So let's say, for example, Wi-Fi. So as you can see, we have a note here that Wi-Fi clock points are only for installed applications like iOS, Android, or Windows PC. Then we can go ahead and try to enter here the Wi-Fi ID and the Wi-Fi name, and then click on Add. For the device, let's go ahead and look for the device ID. As you can see, this is where we can find the device ID. To the login page, you just need to copy that here, enter the device ID, and then enter the device name, and then click on Add. As you can see, the clock point name is already showing here. That means the employee will only be able to clock in or clock out using this device that we added here. And if we are going to add a GPS zone, then we can go ahead and adjust this to how many ranges you want. Let's say, for example, 1000 radius. And then GPS name is, we need to enter the GPS name here, and then click on Add. Then next, we can also add an IP address, which we can also find here on the login page. Just need to enter the IP address here, and then sample IP. I mean this IP name. And then click on Add. Then that means you are restricting your employees from using different device locations, Wi-Fi, or IP. If you need to make an edit, just click on Edit, and if you need to delete this specific clock point, you just need to click on Archive. And if you want to check your settings or your admin setting, then go ahead and click on My Settings, and this will be your settings where you can find your username, and then if you want to change your password, you just need to change it to yes and. Then enter your current password and the new password, and then confirm your password, then save the change. So that's how the settings work on our Lite product M1 for the open time clock. Now let's discuss the other tabs. Once we click on time cards, you're just going to see all the information regarding the clock in and clock out of our employees. We have an option to select all departments or select a different specific department. We also have here an option to filter all employees or a specific user. You also have the option to choose a pay period to see specific time cards of your employees per pay period or a custom range of periods of the dates where you can change the dates here. As you can in the list view, you will be able to see the name of the employee, the date, the job name if they belong to a specific job, their clock in, their clock out, the total hours, and then if it's verified or not. So to verify your time card, you just need to click on Verify. But if you need to make changes, you can click on Edit and then correct the specific changes. Click on Save and then, if you need to delete this specific time card, you just need to click on Delete. So for example, once you clock in or clock out, as I've shown on the video a while ago for clocking in and clocking out once an employee enter. A note, then an admin can see the notes here and then they can go and click on Mark as Read or Delete. If they want to delete this, just click on Delete, and if you want to mark it as read, then you can click on Mark as Read. We also have here an audit log where it will show you a report of all of the modifications we made for this specific account. So let's try to add time for our employees. Let's say, for example, for Jane Doe, select the specific job, time and date and hours, let's say 8 a.m. And then the timeout will be 5 p.m. There and then, if they are working now or still working, just click on Working Now, and if not, then do not click on this and then click on Add. As you can see, the time card of Jane Doe is already showing here where you can see all of the information. So if you want to verify this time card, then you just need to click on Verify. That means as an admin or as a manager you are verifying or approving the time card for Jane Doe. As you can see, you can find the total hours here as well, and if you need the report regarding this, you just need to click on Reports and then save it as Excel or Paint a PDF. How do you add an hour? For example, your employee is going to add an hour, for example, your paid time off or PTO, vacation, sick time, holiday, or other paid time off for your company. Then they just need to click on Add Hours and then choose a specific. Pay code. For example, it's the vacation. If it is paid for hours, then you just need to set up 8 hours, then click on Add In. As you can see, the PTO or the vacation that we added here is already showing. And as an admin, if you want to make an edit, you can click on Edit. If you want to delete, you can click on Delete. And if you want to approve it or verify, you just need to click on Verify. Then that means you're accepting or approving this specific add hours or PTO for this specific employee. And you can also click on Add a note to a specific date. Let's say, for example, today. And then add notes here, then click on Add. And then the notes will show here. You can mark it as read, or you can also try to delete it. That's how our list view works in this live product M1, and then it has the same function as the day view. It's just that it is more detailed than the list view, but as you can see it has the same function, or it has the same settings for the job view. It will just show us the jobs, for example the assigned jobs for the specific selected jobs. In here the data will show for the specific employees. In here for the job summary, this is just the whole summary of all the jobs that we have to the company. And then for the employee summary, we can just see all of the summary for the employees' time cards. And if we need this report, then we can just click on this report button here. And then for the department, this will just show us the summary of the whole department. Now, let's go ahead and check on who is in. So this tab will just show you all of the users or the employee's status. Let's say, for example, for the admin account or the employee Jane Doe, the status is already out. Then that means this specific person is already clocked out for the day of work. And then you can also see here the information about their clock time, the elapsed time, their job, device, Wi-Fi, IP, and GPS. As for this, since this is a newly created account and there is no data yet, then we will not be able to see all of this information. And then for the clocking, so this will just show us like a summary of all the clock in and out of the employees. And then for notes, this will just show us all of the notes that we have or all of the notes the employees, admins and managers need throughout our system. For the audit log is just a specific report for all of the modifications made to our system. If you need this specific report to download, you can click on the Reports button here and then save it as Excel or print it as a PDF. Then since we already discussed settings, let's skip this one. And then for the owner of this account, to check your hours, then you can go ahead and click on My Hours. Let's say, for example, you are also clocking in and clocking out, then you can locate your time cards in My Hours. If you need to make changes regarding your account, like your username or your password, you can click on My Settings. Then once you click on Admin View, you will go back to the admin view or the admin point of view. And then if you click on this Download tab, you will just be routed to this page where it will give you our how to access or download our application. Then, if you do not need to check on your account, you can go ahead and click on Log Out. That's how our product M1 or our Lite product M1 works. Thank you.